What is going on, guys? My name is AJ, and I am here to bring to you guys a small review for Dragon Age Inquisition. I recently played this game and beat it, and off the bat, I have to say it was amazing. It's a great game. There's so much content, and the storyline is tremendous. I enjoyed playing it quite a bit, but as with all things, there are negatives. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this little review, guys. It's not going to be too long, but I'll try to break it up into sections. And the first thing I want to talk about is the number one pro, the fact that this is Dragon Age. I loved Dragon Age Origins, and I loved Dragon Age 2, not as much, but I love the series and everything that they have been trying to do with it from the beginning. And I gotta say, I like the game because it is Dragon Age, and I might be biased because of I remember seeing the trailer for Dragon Age Origins. I just love the idea of it and everything that came along with it. And Dragon Age, in and of itself, to me, is just an amazing RPG. And with this latest installment, it held up its end a lot better than, let's say, another BioWare game, Mass Effect. It did really well, and all your choices in the other games came back in full force in the new game, and I liked seeing how it played out. Another pro, of course, was the fact that this game has some amazing level design. Anyone who's played the other Dragon Ages, it's a very linear game. There wasn't a whole lot to it. With the new ones, you couldn't help but feel immersed in the world. These are hand-designed levels, and there's so much detail put into it that it just leaves you wandering the world for hours. The Hinterlands is the very first level, first area that you unlock, and I was in there for about 25 hours. And all of that was just simply to try to fill out quests and finish everything up. And then, of course, as I get to Skyhold, I find myself with more quests in the Hinterlands. It was just a lot of stuff going into the game. And I really liked the level design. It was beautiful. Everything looked great. Fighting dragons, all of it. It was awesome. But that leads me to my first con of the game. After I got about 100 hours into it, I got tired of playing. The levels are so big, so ridiculously large, that when you're first starting, you're trying to explore everything, and you just can't simply find everything. You can't do everything in this playthrough, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that I had to spend 20 some odd hours in each area. Granted, a lot of that's needed. The final quest is you need to be level 19, or I think it was 15 to 19. So you need to do exploration. I was level 22 when I finally beat the game, and it's great. I like that there's so much you can do. But when you're like me, I'm a completionist. I really want to try to finish the game and get everything I can, complete all quests. And when you're like me, it makes it really difficult to play a game like this. The best way to get around areas is with a mount of some sort, but I really didn't feel like the mounts were particularly that great. They did a good job getting you through a little bit quicker than if you were on foot, but I just didn't find a mount that really increased my speed and made it worthwhile. I even spent some money on the battle nug and all that stuff, and they just weren't that much faster. So I don't know. And as a completionist, it's always better to kind of go ahead and run around the areas so you don't miss anything. There's some really cool stuff. I mean, the level designer, the artist, put in some random stuff that you could find, just random tables with cheese and wine set up at them. You know, just out in the middle of nowhere. It's lots of cool stuff, but it just, I don't know. Something about it just made it it felt like there was too much, and that's a very bad thing with a game like this, where you need to play multiple playthroughs to kind of get all the cool stories. But with so much to offer in every level, you don't want to replay the game. Like I want to play again as a dwarf and as an elf, and maybe do a spellcaster and see how things differ. But I don't want to go through the game again because I spent so many hours playing it through my first playthrough. So to me, that's a big negative for the game. That being said, I still loved the levels. I still loved everything they did. But for me, it was just way too much. Another pro for me, though, and all the things, were the characters. Your NPCs, your buddies, your pals. I don't think anyone would be, shocked to hear that my favorite character was the Iron Bull. He was an amazing character. Freddie Prinze Jr. did a great job voice acting, and he was just one of those memorable characters. And he had a great side quest storyline to kind of fill out his character. Spoiler alert for this, but you end up taking on a quest to try to get the Qunari to be allies with Inquisition. And upon taking this quest, you get towards the end, and you have the option for Bull to either sacrifice the Chargers, which is his company, to save the Qunari, or kill the Qunari to save his company. And I chose for him to become Talbashoth and save his own company, and lost the chance to become allies with the Qunari. And I feel like it was a good choice, and the Bull deals with it rather well. But it's stuff like that that's really great for the characters. I mean, take Blackwall, for instance. Another spoiler here. He is actually a guy named Tom Rainier, who took over the identity of a Grey Warden recruiter named Blackwall. Blackwall was murdered while he was trying to gather Darkspawn blood for Tom Rainier's inscription and his ceremony into the Grey Wardens. And Tom Rainier, unfortunately, was a exiled Orlesian soldier who ended up making his troop murder a nobleman and his family for money. And it was just one of those things, it's deep. And as soon as I realized that, I noticed that he also had a bunch of other kind of cutscenes where he kind of probed you to decide what his response would be to this situation. He ends up talking about a fictional dog that got hung, and I said, I hope you saved the dog. And he said, no, I let the dog hang. I didn't do anything. I was just a boy, And he made the realization, but you would have tried to save the dog anyways, and that's what makes you a better person. So it turns out he's talking about one of his buddies that he made kill this nobleman's family, and he went and stood up for this former soldier of his because of what you said to him. And I think that's really great. I loved that storyline, and I loved all the stuff with all the characters except for Vivian. Hers was a little bit, okay, she's a noble woman. Turns out she's married. Big deal. But everyone else is. I love Cole's. I love Solus's background stuff. I love Varric's stuff. It was all really cool. And so I liked learning that stuff about the characters. It was really well done. And it was something I look forward to doing, is trying to figure out all this stuff about my characters. So I really enjoyed it, and the characters were probably the best part about this. Voice acting was stellar. I enjoyed playing the game, so I can't complain a whole lot. I really liked it. The last thing I want to kind of talk about is, of course, the tie-in that comes with the former games. If you play Dragon Age Origins, you met Morrigan for the first time, and she's a very interesting character, to say the least. I enjoyed playing out that romance with my Kuzlin, the hero of Ferelden, was a human noble, and I went ahead and did the Dark Ritual with Morrigan to save his life, and that ended up coming into play with this game. You see Morrigan's and the hero of Ferelden's son, and since I did some DLC that made my hero chase after Morrigan again, you find out they're deeply in love. She's, he had to go off somewhere else to deal with the situation, and she's taking care of the Orlesian. She's taking care of the Orlesian Empress and trying to make things work out better for her and be her magical advisor and stuff. And it's a really good storyline. And in the end, you get to see how it plays out at the Well of Sorrows. And this is kind of another spoiler. Actually, it's a big spoiler. So if you don't want to hear it, stop listening. But you get to see Morrigan, who sacrifices herself to drink from the Well of Sorrows and become an indentured servant to Mithras, who is an elven goddess. And it turns out that Mithras, of course, is Flemeth. Sorry, I hit my mic there. Oh, bad. But turns out she's Flemeth, and so Morrigan ends up sacrificing herself and becoming a servant of her mother and turning into a dragon. And it's really cool. It's a great storyline. I saw it. Everything that happened with it was amazing, and it's just part of good writing. So really, guys, the only downside to this game at all is there's too much. There's too much stuff. Because I felt like I had to try to get everything, and it's hard to do, and it drained me. I put in around 100 hours according to my save file. I would say that probably around 10 to 20 of that is me accidentally leaving the game running, dealing with my son and things like that. So maybe 80 or so hours. And still, I didn't get everything done. I got four dragons left to kill. I've got other stuff to do. The good news is, when you finish the last quest of the game, you're still in the Inquisition. You jump back into the world, and you can complete that stuff. So it's really good. So don't feel like you have to rush to get it done. If you can get through the main quest, the main storyline, do it, and then go back and finish things out. That doesn't mean that there won't be consequences for not finishing some of your characters, your NPCs' storylines. I don't know what they are because I didn't do that. But all in all, guys, this is a really great game. It's definitely worth the price tag. So if you guys are looking at getting it for someone for Christmas or something like that, expect them to be swarmed and swamped with this game. And they're going to get immersed, and they're going to want to play it for a long time. And eventually, they'll be like me and just go, okay, I'm done. I want to beat this thing and stop. So, guys, for me, this is easily a 5 out of 5 if I'm ranking it in any type of way. It's great. Like I said, the only con is I don't see a whole lot of replayability, but if you play through it and do everything the first time, you may not necessarily want to. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little review of the game. I don't think anyone should be surprised that Dragon Age Inquisition was a great game. It's an epic game, and it's definitely one worth picking up and playing at least once. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more from my channel for reviews and video game playthroughs of all the hot titles and some old ones, since this is AJ Retro Games. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.